Hello, all. This is Heathen Queen. I came on here to address the Ebony K. Williams saga, continuing saga. Now, I agree with Ebony K. Williams, except she didn't say 5 magic words. If all things were equal, better still, if all men were equal, she would have had amazing advice. It would have been the most amazing advice if all men were equal. Men, black men specifically, seeing as how this is who she was speaking in regard to, black men don't prioritize marriage. Neither now nor in the past have they prioritized marriage. So women going to college, pursuing a ring, pursuing a man, pursuing that 7-to-1 ratio that you kicked out of there so eloquently, women pursuing those men make no difference. We would have gotten married if that had been an important thing to our men. But they have been busy busting down female after female after female, creating fatherless homes to concern themselves about being married. The reason why most of us are not married is because men made it known that they did not prioritize marriage. You're speaking to a group of women who don't see marriage as an option because men train them, black men specifically. Black men trained our women not to expect marriage, not to expect commitment, not to expect loyalty. Now, for you to change your mind and get on the internet and say, hey, black ladies, you should have prioritized marriage just like you prioritize school, is disingenuous, because you understand the dating pool just as well as anyone else. And you can see that commitment is not something that black men take seriously. We have the highest rate of STDs. We have the shittiest record on marriage. We have the highest rate of having children out of wedlock. Do you honestly think our women decided that they just wanted to have children out of wedlock, that they never wanted to get married? We women were trained not to expect a man to marry us. We were trained by black men not to expect marriage. So why would a woman waste her time in college getting a degree and on the flip side turn around and pursue a man who would more than likely have sex with her and get her pregnant and then leave her? Now, you made an assumption that because they're intelligent, because they have prospects, that they would be more than willing to put rings on women's fingers, marry them, be fathers to these children. But case in point, these gentlemen still pursued degrees, still were smart, still were intelligent. And how many of those men got married right out of college? or who had an engaged person. Not many. I don't have the statistics. I'm not speaking in statistical formation. I'm speaking the anecdotal evidence that I see in the neighborhoods, in the towns, in the communities, all across the United States, of the overabundance of single women. I just want you to think about what you said. Do you honestly believe that the educated woman said, "Oh no, I want to get my degree, but I don't want to get married"? Do you honestly believe that that was the way we wanted it to be? When in the past, we have been able to depend on our men long time ago to at least marry us. Maybe not stick around. But in the past, women were able to reliably depend on a man to marry her at some particular point, whether that marriage lasted or not. These days, men are not willing to get married. If you ask a lot of them, they want to stay single and mingle and throw their peen all over the country and the world and not have a care or concern about being married. The one thing that Kevin Samuels said was, women control relationships and sex, and men control relationships and marriage. Women don't go around asking men to get married. The men have to ask the women to get married, and he has to be agreeable. We have not run across agreeable men in the last 30, 40, 50, whatever years. Specifically, within the last 30 years, we don't have gentlemen, we don't have men, black men specifically, who have wanted to get married. So therefore, we're not waiting around inside of the schools, the colleges, waiting for a man to get our hand and ask for it in marriage. They don't want to get married. They keep saying it in front of a camera, but when we get behind the scenes and we get into the house and we get into the nitty-gritty of relationships in real life, they have no intention of marrying a woman. And they too don't see childbirth or having children as an extension of being in a marriage. They don't see that. And then they don't have care or concern about those children. Okay? We women are natural nesters. We understand that marriage is supposed to be a goal. We understand that. But the preference, our preference, most black women's preference, are to be married to black men. If he doesn't want to get married, that means we're stuck having a preference without getting married. And since a lot of women, black women, don't have a desire to marry, there's a problem. All of these gurus and people who have advice and information keep placing the blame for marriage or non-marriage on women. Men control marriage. Why is it that these men don't want to marry their baby mamas? Why is it these men keep running off on their baby mamas if they're so concerned about being marriage in a family, having a household, having a budget, doing what needs to be done to cultivate and keep a relationship? Because they don't want one, and we women cannot force them to, regardless of whether they're smart, intelligent, college-bound gentlemen. So I resent the fact that you decided that you would jump the fence. Because it's called being in disingenuous. It's called being disingenuous when you don't understand. It's just like saying, I can get over this wall. I can't get over the wall if the wall is 100 feet high. Someone has to knock the wall down. The wall has to come down before me. The wall has to come down before I can get around the wall or get on the other side. Men are the wall. I can't get around that 100 feet wall. They have to want us to be married. They have to want to marry us Black women. I resent the fact that everyone keeps saying we need to settle. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. If you're a Black woman who only wants a Black man, oh well, you're going to be one of those women that settle. Oh well, you might be one of those women that settle if you're not willing to open up your options. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm willing to say. But don't make it seem as though this is our only option. There are dark-skinned men all over this planet. Black women need to utilize all the options that they have available. Okay? Because our men have made it clear that they don't want to marry us. And we can't force men to marry us. They have never wanted to marry us within the last 30 to 40 years. They have not wanted to get married. So regardless of whether we're pursuing a ring, pursuing a boyfriend or not, he's more than likely not wanting to get married. Okay. And great. I get it. I do. Your options you feel are limited because you're older, you're 40, whatever have you. I get it. But you also have to present the evidence that says they're saying they want to get married and we're the ones saying we don't want to get married. And there is no evidence of that. Our white counterparts, our white sisters, Hispanic sisters and white sisters, our Hispanic and white sisters understand that marriage is expected. That's the dominant community. Marriage is a natural progression in a relationship within the Hispanic and white community. Don't you think after years and years of conditioning of getting married, falling in love, having a baby, the Hispanic and the white dominant community have been getting the same message as us? Us Black women have been getting the same message as our Hispanic and white sisters. That it's supposed to be engagement, marriage, children. We got the same fucking message. And their men got the same fucking message. And they complied to that message. Black men got the same message and they outright rejected that scenario. They're the ones that are prohibiting marriage in the Black community. They are the ones that broke the marital contract. They are the ones that see a marriage as a lock and key and chain, a ball and chain type deal. They are the ones that want polyamorous relationships, polygamy relationships, don't want to be in a committed relationship, don't want to have one woman, don't care about having 3, 4, 10, 12 kids. Black men are the ones that have done this. Black men are the ones that have degraded the Black family. It is not a woman who goes to college and says she wants to pursue her college degree and doesn't pursue a relationship because she just chooses to pursue just education. Black men have trained her not to expect a marriage. Black men have trained her not to expect a commitment. The breakdown of the family relationship dynamic has been the Black men who have done that. We have the same training, the same messages, the same condition as the Hispanic women and the white women in our community. They understand that they're supposed to get engaged, get married, have children. We all understand that. The only group that balks against that tradition are Black males. And since we're the Black male counterpart, we get rejected. We got rejected by Black men. We were rejected. Don't give me the bullshit about us and our attitude first. Our attitude didn't come first. Your rejection of us, your rejection of supporting us, your rejection of staying in the home, your rejection of commitment made us be feisty or attitudinal or have a mouth. Our disappointment in Black men shows up as being naggers. They trained us not to expect marriage. So therefore we say, okay, we don't need marriage. We don't need to do any of that. And see, look, we're not needing or standing on our principles for being married got us. Baby mamas with 3, 4, 5, 10 baby daddies. A single mother epidemic with men running around having babies with multiple women. That is what us saying, oh, we're just going to wait for the Black men to change their mind. That's what it got us. We have the same conditioning as our white and Hispanic sisters in this country. The same conditioning. We grew up with the same conditioning. We just got trained by our Black men not to expect commitment, marriage, or anything else related to family. So I resent you, Ebony Williams, coming on here saying we need to prioritize marriage. If marriage was important to our men, we would have prioritized it. We would keep it as a priority. But it's not a priority to us anymore because we don't have our counterpart. And our counterpart has rejected us and has rejected commitment and family and marriage. So therefore, because that is our preference, because they are our preference, we have felt rejected and thrown to the side. So therefore, we have learned to say we don't need to have marriage. And that has ruined the marriage for Black couples. That has ruined the marriage in the Black community. The rejection from our male counterparts ruined the marital relationship. And I resent people coming on here saying it's the Black woman's fault when we know it's not our fault. When we know that we did not reject marriage. We were rejected by our men long time ago. No, I'm sorry. Our Black men rejected commitment and marriage, therefore rejected us. Rejected us. And I'm healing, Queen.